Sometimes we don't even realize what God is doing for us. Psalm 91, verses 1 through 9. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. As believers, we know that God is always with us, protecting us and guiding us through life's challenges. But sometimes, we don't even realize what God is doing for us. We may be going through a difficult situation or facing a dangerous circumstance, and yet we emerge unscathed, not realizing that it was God who was watching over us. Today, I want to talk to you about the protection of God. The Bible tells us that God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in times of trouble. When we put our trust in Him, we can be assured that He will protect us and keep us safe from harm. Psalm 91, verses 11 and 12 says, For He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. This is a powerful promise from God, assuring us that He will send His angels to protect us from harm and keep us safe from danger. But sometimes, we don't even realize that God is protecting us. We may be driving down the road, not realizing that we narrowly avoided a dangerous accident. We may be walking home from work, not realizing that we were protected from a potential attack. We may be going through a difficult situation, not realizing that God was working behind the scenes to protect us and guide us through it. This is why it's important for us to trust in God's protection, even when we don't see it. We may not always understand why certain things happen or why we go through certain trials, but we can be confident that God is always working for our good, even when we don't realize it. You and I know that God has angels, and the Bible tells us that He gives these angels charge over you. There are angels who have charge over you, who are keeping you in all your ways. Wherever you may be traveling, God's angels are watching over you. On the way to work, on the way back home, on the way to the shops, or the way anywhere, there is at least one angel watching over you. To this world, you do not matter. To this world, you are irrelevant. To this world, you are just another number or just another body. However, not to God. To God, you matter enough for Him to assign His angels to watch over you. God has given them an assignment to watch over you. You matter. You matter. You matter to God. The truth is, sometimes we don't even realize what God is doing for us.
In Christianity, angels play a significant role in our lives and families, as well as in every area of our existence. As you listen to me right now, it is highly possible that at least one angel is present in your home. Isn't that wonderful? Psalm 91, verses 11 through 12. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. We often overlook the angels mentioned in this part of the Bible. We don't think about the works they do to keep us safe. We should truly thank God for sending angels to protect us. The president has the Secret Service Department protecting him, the best humans taking care of him, but you, on the other hand, have secret angels watching over you, covering your back. There are instances where God sent angels for special work. God sent angels to Lot. Lot was Abraham's nephew, and they separated. Lot went to Sodom and Gomorrah. The sin of the people in those cities was so great that God decided to destroy them. Angels were sent to warn Lot about the impending destruction and to guide Lot and his family out of the city. Genesis chapter 19, verse 1 states, And there came 2 angels to Sodom at evening, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. The primary task of these angels was to guide Lot's family out of the city that was destined for destruction. Genesis chapter 19, verse 16 further reveals, And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him outside the city. The angels of the Lord helped Lot's family to escape the city and be saved from its destruction. Just like that, God has also sent angels to you and your family to keep you safe from any evil that may threaten you. These angels are always present around you, never taking their eyes off you. There is an angel in your home. In Jacob's dream, he saw angels going up and down a ladder. Sometimes we overlook the significance of this dream. The top of the ladder represents the Lord God himself. It means that these angels are constantly moving between heaven and earth, fulfilling their assigned tasks. They continually go forth from God's presence to carry out what they have been commanded to do. One of their responsibilities is to ensure the safety of you and your family. They are always present in your house, watching over you. This is why you have nothing to worry about. God sent them to be with you. In Matthew chapter 18, verse 10, Jesus instructs us not to despise the little ones, for their angels in heaven always behold the face of his Father. This emphasizes that there are angels assigned to watch over and protect God's children. These angels have constant access to the presence of God in heaven. Therefore, be assured that you and your family are under the watchful care of God's angels. They are present in your life and home, ensuring your well-being and guarding against harm. You can find comfort and peace knowing that God has sent them to be with you and protect you from any evil that may arise. Trust in his divine providence and rest in the knowledge that his angels are faithfully watching over you.
The truth is, sometimes we don't even realize what God is doing for us. Can you imagine the amount of time God has shielded you? The amount of time God has protected you and made a way for you? Isaiah chapter 43, verse 2. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. This is a powerful promise of God's protection for his children. But notice that he doesn't say, if you pass through the waters, or if you walk through the fire. He says, when, because he knows that we will face trials and difficulties in this life, but he promises to be with us and protect us through them all. So even when we don't realize it, God is constantly working for our good and our protection. He is our loving Father who cares for us deeply, and He will never leave us or forsake us. As Romans chapter 8, verse 28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." God is not a man that He should lie to us. He said, "When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee." Not an angel, not a person, but God Himself. I will be there. Whatever you are going through right now, realize that you are not alone. The presence of the Lord is with you. God wasn't just saying, "I will be with you," to comfort you or to console you. He is saying it because He will do what He has said. If God says He will be with you, He will be with you. You need to go back into the presence of God. As believers, we know that God is our protector, our shield, and our fortress. Psalm 91 verse 2 says, "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust." But what we often forget is that God's protection is not always obvious or visible to us. Sometimes we don't even realize what God is doing for us. God is working behind the scenes, protecting us and guiding us in ways that we may never fully understand. Think about it. How many times have you been protected by God without even realizing it? To end this sermon, I want to encourage you to pray. I am here to tell you, go to Jesus. Go to the presence of the Lord. You have a God who loves you and cares. Find you a secret place and pour your heart to God. Pour out your heart to Him. He will hear you. He will hear you. People will only listen to you for so long and put up with you for so long. But you can spend time in the presence of the Lord. Even if you need to cry, you can cry in His presence. You can pour out your heart to the Lord. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. Casting all your cares, all your anxieties, all your worries, and all your concerns once and for all on Him, for He cares about you with deepest affection and watches over you very carefully.